This should look familiar. We are adding, subtracting, multiplying polynomials. This is something we started off the year by doing. It's just combining like terms. And then multiplying, you can either use FOIL, or I'm going to teach you a different method using that box method we use for factoring. And it may make it easier for y'all for the bigger polynomial multiplications. Because FOIL only works for a 2 by 2. And this will actually help you organize bigger than that. So, first question, we have 3x cubed minus 7x plus 2 plus 10x to the fourth minus 7x cubed plus 2x squared minus 7. So we need to figure out what are like terms. Like terms have the exact same exponent on your variable. Those are the only ones you can combine. When you are adding, the variable will not change. The coefficient is the only thing that changes. So let's identify a few like terms. So we have the x to the fourth. Is there anything else as an x to the fourth? No. So I am going to be adding that, so that's going to be a positive 10x to the fourth. You go in order from greatest to least exponent. So you start with the largest exponent and then go down from there. So the next set we have is x cubed. Our two x cubes are 3x cubed and negative 7x cubed. So plus 3x cubed minus 7x cubed. Some of you are not going to need to write this step where you put them together. You're going to be able to go straight to this is what the number is next step. I'm showing it with little steps in between. Next we have our x squareds. We only have one x squared, or one term that has an x squared, and that's your 2x squared. So plus 2x squared. Then we go to our linear x term. There's only one of those. So that's minus 7x. I always forget that color. Does it show up here? For a second. And then our constant term, which is plus 2 and minus 7. So plus 2 minus 7. And combine each of those terms. So there's nothing to combine with my 10x squared, or 10x to the fourth. So it's just 10x to the fourth. The 3x cubed is positive. So I can think of it, or plus, so I think of it as positive. So positive 3 minus 7 results in a negative 4x cubed. There's nothing else that's squared, so I just write it down. There's nothing else that has a linear term, so I just write it down. And then for my constants, positive 2 minus 7 is going to be a negative 5. That's that polynomial in standard form. Standard form means my exponents go down each time. They don't go up any. So 4, 3, 2, 1, none is standard form. Standard form is going to be important for future problems. So making sure you know how to put it in standard form is going to help you. So problem 2, we're going to subtract. 7x squared minus 3x plus 15 minus 7x minus 3. When you're subtracting, you can do it the same method I just did, but you need to change all the signs. Or I typically will do subtraction like we do back in elementary, where you stack it on top of each other. I tend to make less mistakes when I do it this method, because I write it down the way it is. But subtraction means that I need to come through here and switch all my signs. So that original positive became a minus, that original minus became a plus. So 7x squared minus nothing is still 7x squared. Negative 3x minus 7x is negative 10x. 15 plus 3 is 18. You may or may not have terms that match up, so make sure you leave a space on your first one if you have skips in it, so that you can line up the next one. And the last thing, we are going to multiply. X squared minus 7x plus 3 times 2x minus 5. And so FOIL works great if it's a 2 by 2. So this is not a 2 by 2. Not two term times 2 term, excuse me. So I'm going to show you how you can use that box that we did earlier this year for factoring and get it to help you with multiplying, which is basically unfactoring. You list your terms like you would if you were pulling things out. Actually, let's do it in the exact same spot we used to do it for pulling things out. That was at the bottom, right? And then over on this side, we have 2x minus 5. And so we are going to multiply this 2x times each of the terms down here. So 2x times x to the second is going to give us 2x cubed. 2x times negative 7x is going to give us a negative 14x squared. 2x times 3 is going to give us 6x. Then we're going to take the second line and do the same idea, but with that negative 5. Negative 5 times x squared is going to give me negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times negative 7x is going to be positive 35x. Negative 5 times 3 is going to be negative 15. Now identify which ones can be added. And it should usually result, let me change out colors, to where you see the diagonals get added. If you go down, if they stair step down, you're going to see that every single time. So that results in 2x cubed. What is negative 5x squared minus 14x squared? 35x plus 6x.
Shouldn't that be a negative 35x?
It was a negative times a negative, so it's a 41x. So the last one we're left with is just that negative 15. This is the polynomial put into standard form. So the diagonal method is going to work if you see that the exponents stair step down on both of these. If they don't, that method won't work. The diagonal won't work. You'll have to actually look for where they match up.